Ain't nobody got time for that. 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 Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, did something happen? All right, well, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest trader in the world, but after a day like this, after listening to schmucks on the internet and all these people that are talking about shorting, and you get this big gap up in your face, what, as a professional trader, and someone's been watching this bullshit my whole life, you do realize you don't buy stocks when they gap up, right? I mean, sometimes you get a gap, the NASDAQ opens up 12 points, it's not a big deal. But when you get a market that opens up this much, and CNBC's talking about the market surging, you know, it would be great, and that's why I don't watch CNBC anymore, because at least talk about reality. Reality that the market wasn't surging. It was an artificial, and if you don't believe in the manipulation of the market, today was a perfect example. Man, I gotta stretch out my head, because look at those lines. These are each decade of trading, or each 5 years. I get an extra line in my head. I can move my ears. Watch. One eyebrow. So you do realize you don't buy gap ups. And when CNBC's talking about how the market's surging, no, market surging is a market that opens up relatively flat and surges. Doesn't open up, tack on a couple of more sucker points, and then collapse throughout the day. So if you're looking at the market from a distance right now, you see 129 and 36 on the NASDAQ, you're thinking it was a good day. This was an awful day where the majority of trades that were going through were sells. Nobody was buying the open. Nobody was buying the pullbacks. And all the market did, if the market was open for another hour, we probably would have gone negative. Which leads me to the idea that possibly tomorrow is going to be the day where we give all of this back. Maybe and then some. Now, I'm not planning for it, because you see why would you plan? Why would you position yourself ahead of things when most of the action happens during the day, a la today? Now, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'll give a little rub, a little scratch, a little how's your father underneath of my undercarriage right now, because when the Qs hit 108.20, I said, this is it. There's no way we're breaking out. We're up 75 points. The Qs made back. The Qs basically went down to support, and what they did was they gapped it up and they squoze it back to that 108.20 area, which for me is the moment of truth. And looking at them at 108.20, I'm thinking, where are they going today? 108.36 was where I thought maybe we could get to. So 108.20, I quadrupled my short position, started making phone calls about how the market's going to crash, spreading rumors, doing whatever I could. But let's take a step back. Before we mention that, take a look how the WIN trade turned out today. WIN, W-Y-N-N. And I'm going to have to mention the UVXY. Now, when did we buy the UVXY back? We bought a little bit more at $11.50, and it didn't work. We got stopped out at $11.39. But then on the way back up, as the market was falling, giving us more confidence that this UVXY trade could possibly be the time to get in, we septupled our position in the UVXY at 11.55, bought more at 11.61, bought more at 11.71, and we started selling it at 12, and then we just got printed at some at 12.20. Because you know why? I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'll give you a prediction. Not that predictions. I'll give you a prediction. Pain. If this market gaps up again and rolls over, if this market gaps up tomorrow and starts to roll over, we will give back all of today, and the UVXY will make a move back up. If this market gaps down, we might just sit there and have a negative day. If this market gaps down a lot and breaks support, we might just shit the bed. So there's a lot of factors pointing to a day that probably will be down tomorrow. Now, am I making any monster trades predicting? And no, because what did that get me today? It got me squadouche. It got me, oh no, am I going to lose money? But you know what? I turned this into a positive day because I know what I'm doing. Do I? Or was I just lucky? Maybe it's a combination of both. Because if you came into the chat room today, there was a good hour and a half. All we were doing is talking about old school rap music. And there was a good half an hour we were talking about movies that people don't understand. Not understand. They haven't seen underrated. That was the movie I was trying to, like, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. If you haven't seen this movie, you have to see it. We were doing Christopher Walken movies. And if you haven't seen Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum, go see that movie. Deep Cover is one of the top 20 movies of all time. Of all time. I don't know where the phone is. So yeah, depending when you got into the room, but when the market hit that 108.20 on the Qs, I was like, if you're long this market, please, for the love of God, get the hell out. I'm going to short more here, and I'm going to make all this money back, and then some. 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 Proving once again, take your money out of the market, go to cash, because when you have days like this, why do you need to own anything, short or long? Because there's those days where you come in, the market's crashing, and then next thing you know, by the end of the day, it's up. And then days like this where they pump the market up at the open and all we do is go down. You don't need to own stocks in this nonsense. Sure, I think the market eventually will go higher over the next 2 or 3 years, but what if it doesn't? What if it does? What if it doesn't? Who cares? When you can make $1 on the Qs intraday, what do you need anything else? You're making 20, 30% on a UVXY trade. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? You got the, what was the other one that we looked at? MRO. Rough. So, moral of the story, as if I had muscles to show you. Moral of the story is we kicked large ass today. All due the Christopher Walken. We started talking like walking, and next thing you know, the market started tanking. It was fantastic. And we just kept shorting it and shorting it and shorting it more. The Qs specifically, because that's really what I trade, the Qs. Now, let me just make a formal declaration. I don't own anything right now. All right? What I do have is a short strangle on the Qs, meaning that today was another good day. One day closer to expiration, because I'm short calls and I'm short puts. So as long as it stays between the call and the put, and they go sideways, each day gets closer to expiration, therefore putting more money into my account. That's all I got. So the only time I'm going to get hurt is if the market crashes. And the only time I'm going to get hurt on the upside is if this market suddenly makes a parabolic move of 20%. But chances are, like today, I will adjust what's happening to hedge my hedges. I will then hedge the hedge, which has been hedged from the other hedge. I will hedge, and then at the end of the day, suddenly, when you're down 10 grand and you turn it into a $600 positive day, you are the man. That's this guy. Who am I talking to right now? I don't know. I'm talking to myself. I'm just very proud that I didn't panic and just do what the market tells you. But the moral of this video today is you don't need to own stocks. Do what the market's telling you to do, and this market sucked. And when CNBC says the market's surging and you're trying to find a stock that's actually moving up, you know it's probably a good time to sell. CNBC's the worst. The worst. At least not once did they say 92% of this move today was an artificial gap up in the morning and we've been selling ever since. Not once did they say that.
This guy keeps calling back.
Not once. All right. I'll see you later.